guys, thank you again for joining me today and watching or listening to the Marissa Effect. Today I have my friend Kat. I can't wait to delve into her whole being and who she is as a person. She's very, very motivating. She's very, very talented, and she inspires me because she has this way about her to connect women and have the women feel confident and empowered in their own bodies. And it's not something that everybody can give to another person, but you just have something special that brings that out. And it's amazing because you have a following of a great community of women that follow you. And I just want to, without oversharing and without going into too much detail in the beginning, you just do have energy that makes people want to come back for more and keep learning. So today we're here. She's a talented dancer. She choreographies different dances. I don't even know if that's the way you're supposed to say it.
Yeah, choreographs.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Same thing. We can make up new words. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. And she also just shared with me while we were setting up today that she dabbles into all these different areas of like business and real estate, and I was just blown away because I'm like, wow, just when you think you kind of know somebody, you don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited to unpack all of this and dive right into this interview. So thank you for being here.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah. So my first question, of course, is I want to get into the background of you. Like, I met you a couple of years ago now at Air Dance.
Oh my gosh, I know. It has been a while.
Time flies.
Yeah.
I don't know where time goes. But I know you as a dance teacher. Typically the chair dancing class, because that's what I like then.
Right.
But I know you do pole, and I know you do other things. So if you want to like take us to the background of like how you found this niche or where you, I don't know, you share your story.
Okay, so my story. So yeah, I am a pole dance instructor, I guess. Pole dance has been my hobby now for about like 6 or 7 years. I started in 2019. So around that time, I was looking for something to kind of just delve into as a new hobby. I like really missed having like that team aspect of, being with a group of girls or women, what have you, and having that common shared goal. So like, I guess going back to my upbringing and how I got into dance in general and performing arts, I started when I was about in 8th grade. Like I actually started in a hip-hop class, I want to say. It was this dance studio called Mrs. P's in Coral Springs. I don't know if it's still there, actually. So my mom enrolled me with one of my friends from school, and when I tell you, I literally had no rhythm or coordination. I was like a baby deer.
I just don't believe it because I just know you now, and I don't get it.
It was so bad. My dance teacher used to get so mad at me. We would do across the floors, and she'd be like,
Yeah. It's across the floors when you do like your pirouettes across the
kind of, yeah, or like
floor.
Different, basically any kind of dance combination where you go across the floor. It's usually to prep or to learn,
like
sequence.
The fluidity.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So I started with that, and then when I was in high school, I got into color guard. So I did color guard like with the marching band, and then also winter guard. So that was around my sophomore year.
Wait, what's winter guard?
Oh, winter guard is like it's like the color guard aspect, like doing the rifles, the flags, the sabers, and like the dance, but you do it on like this basically giant tarp in like the middle of like a high school gym, and like it's a whole production. So it's like a whole routine, that the instructors will choreograph, and you have like different sections of different things going on. And they always have this national competition in Ohio, actually, that people go to.
Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Florida.
Oh, yeah, you're a Florida girl.
Yeah. So I did that for about 3 years, and that's where I really learned more of like a lyrical contemporary background, I guess, in terms of dance. Like, that was a lot more technique based, I would say. They were hard on us. Like, it was like practices from like 8 to 5, for example, like every day during the summer or something like that.
Holy
so
cow. Wait, how old were you for this?
I was in high school. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, we would travel together. You do competition. So again, it goes back to like that team mentality and like having like a group of people to quote unquote ride the struggle bus with. So you really get to bond that way. So once I got to college, I started doing dance competitions also there. So it was with groups that were clubs, I would say, that were geared towards like Asian Americans. So like, you know, Filipino Student Association. And then I was also in a multicultural Asian sorority. So we would do stepping, strolling, and then other performances, things like that. So with that, I also had practice, you know, being in front of crowds, you know, performing for other people, choreographing, and kind of making my own pieces at that point, which then led into post-college. I started doing heels classes, so like, you know, regular dance industry
Is that like
heels.
a heels class that we would go to at Air Dance?
Maybe not
Or
necessarily. Like anywhere, like a regular dance studio,
Like a little heel, like a little.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, not like a pole dance.
Okay.
You know, yeah. Like the Bird Juice, if you've ever heard of that brand.
Okay.
And like the dance classes that you see in LA, that kind of style.
Oh, okay.
You know. So I started doing that, and I realized I was like, oh, I really miss, you know, this aspect. And I actually found pole like in the most random way. I went to 11 in Miami one time, and one of my friends was really drunk, and she was like, oh my gosh, I guess she was inspired, you know, by being there. She was like, we should take a pole dancing class. And I'm like, okay, like sure. And from like the first day that I did it, I was just hooked. So
I bet.
yeah.
So wow, and then you just been coasting ever since. So you've been
Basically.
loving it ever since.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. Would you say? I mean, it sounds like you were in a little bit like as you grew up, dabbled into the performing arts life, lifestyle.
Yes, exactly.
But would you say, you know, you're super flexible, probably more flexible than the most, right?
I mean, I guess compared to the rest of the world, I feel like definitely not flexible, but yeah,
Oh, really?
relative to
You
like
feel that way? I feel like you're like
Yeah.
a contortionist.
No, absolutely not. No, my upper back is actually really stiff. I feel like my lower body, yes, like my splits and stuff like that. I definitely have that, but compared to, I guess, like what you see on social media, I feel like I'm pretty average. You know.
Yeah, well, I don't know, and not to me, but I guess I get it for your sake since you're saying it. But like, I'm asking you that question because do you see a difference as you started to kind of learn different dance styles and then like bring it into the pole world? You started to see your body kind of change and adapt to the emotions.
Right, absolutely. I think pole dance requires a different degree of flexibility. And which is why I love it. I mean, it's something, it's basically like calisthenics, but on a pole. So you have to be flexible, you have to have strength, you have to have grace, you know, you have to pretty much be able to do it all if you want to look good.
I know. I feel like we're going to jump around. Whatever, I'm going to go straight from how
It's
I outline my questions for you. But aesthetically, like you have a lot of grace. Is that natural for you, or you harness it in, like you
No,
challenge?
it's not natural for me.
Okay.
I mean, even going back to like when I first started color guard, I actually sprained my ankle like the week before our first football game. Like I was not graceful, like in any sense when I first started. Yeah, it's something that I developed over time, and I think with the technique of learning dance, and then even in pole, like when I talk to my students and I tell them like how to flow, I think a lot of people think that it comes naturally and it's something that you can just kind of tap into, but it does come with time, and it comes with understanding the basics and understanding the foundation of movement at its core. Like, where are you initiating from? You know, how do you want this movement to look, and what is the style? And then from there you find the freedom to actually be able to express yourself within the movement.
I love that. So what is your tip? Like if somebody was here, what is your tip to somebody who's like not as graceful but working on that?
Working on it, I would say take time to practice things repetitively. Okay, because really repetition is the key to mastery, right? That's what they say. Like for me, people see me when I do a move and they're like, how do you know how to do that so well? I'm like, I'm literally done it probably 1,000 times by this point.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so going back to that, like mastery is once you have mastered those foundations, then you can like begin to progress those moves. And then again, that's where you find the freedom to be able to express yourself. Because once it becomes so part of you that you don't have to think about it anymore. You're not saying to yourself, like, I have to put my hand here or put my leg here. Or I need to remember to do this. Yeah. Then you're free to connect with the music or connect with whatever it is that you're doing. Right. And you can put more of your personality into it.
I love that. Wow. I also think another tip of it, I like it though. Another tip, not that I even follow this, but I do feel like because you know I do like the Montana method workouts all the time.
Yeah, those are so cool.
I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do embrace the fact that the mirror is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Look at yourself. Even
Right.
if you think you feel foolish, like, or you feel like cocky, look at yourself, just friggin' do it, because there's so much growth in looking, well, in the workout world, like making sure your form is there for your safety.
Right.
But in the dance world, yes, your safety, your form, but also your elegancy, and that's your grace. And that's where you perfect those areas.
Right. Yeah, and it goes hand in hand with the repetition. Like, you have to not only be able to visually see what you're doing, it has to become so automatic that you can feel it kinesthetically, right? Like, even if I don't look at the mirror, I can say, I know this is where I should place my leg, or this is how high things need to go.
Yeah.
So it all kind of ties into each other. But yeah, I think just exploring is really the biggest thing, because I find that a lot of students want to just, repeat what is given to them, right? So like, I hand you like a movement or a piece of choreography, you can repeat it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can follow it, you can look at me, I can teach you the steps. But I think to truly evolve as a dancer and as an artist, you have to be willing to explore outside of that box,
And I remember Nessie saying to me, like, you can teach the moves, but eventually your body needs to do the move the way it wants to do the move, right? Because everybody has a different flair. So it's kind of true. But I do know the discomfort in, like, not mastering it. So I do know, like, that there's awkwardness connected to that.
Right.
So how do you help your student kind of navigate that awkwardness? Because that can, like, limit if somebody's going to come back or keep trying and stuff. But I do feel like you have this way of, like, breaking it down that people are like, okay, I'm gonna get this.
Right. Okay. So, I'm an occupational therapist too. Like, it's my day job. So when I was in school, we used to learn these, concepts of how to help patients, essentially, right? So there's a concept called the Just Right Challenge. So it's making sure that, the environment, the tasks that you're giving them, and then, considering the limitations of the person themselves, all kind of meet together, so that where you're giving them something that they can achieve, and that's still challenging, but they won't get frustrated by. So you have to consider, I guess, in the dance world, for a student, I have to look at their personality. If I know them as a person, like, how do they like to learn? Like, what's the best way to help them? Do I need to physically cue them? Do I need to give them just, a walkthrough in terms of verbally? Do I need to actually physically place their hand, for example? And just, I think, kind of using the disclaimer that it is supposed to feel awkward kind of helps people relieve that tension also, because learning anything new isn't supposed to feel natural. You're not going to be amazing at it unless maybe you have like some type of background that helps, right? But in any case, no matter how advanced you are, you're learning something new, it's going to feel a little bit strange. So I think it's a mindset that I like to teach my students, is to not be afraid of messing up, because a lot of times when I feel like I've messed up maybe in a freestyle, or it's not going the way I think it's going to go, I actually end up in something new that I like even better.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's crazy. So I do think that you, like, what inspires you, or when did you start teaching? Like, you took this pole class, and then how fast did you become the teacher?
So I started in 2019, and then Nessie was the one that gave me the opportunity to teach when she started air dance. So that's about almost 3 years ago now. So 2022, the end of that year, is when I started teaching.
Wow. And it accompanies your profession, basically, because it's so much of the body, so much of movement.
Yeah, exactly. I do think it helps quite a bit, because I have such a strong knowledge of anatomy. Not even the anatomy itself, but like, I can look, for example, at a patient and look at the way they're walking, or they're doing something, like, for example, a stroke patient, and I can see, like, okay, they don't have enough shoulder flexion to be able to grab that and bring it back to their mouth to feed themselves. So when I look at a dancer, I can see, like, what are some of the physical limitations that a lot of people don't really consider, which is something that I could go on a rant about, because it's not very, I would say, regulated in the pole dance world, and a lot of people don't screen their students for certain moves,
like injuries or limitations.
Exactly.
I hate the word limitations, but you never want anybody to get hurt.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's a limit to what your body can do when you're first starting out. You know, there's a natural progression of what things are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times too many people just kind of just throw themselves or throw their students into things that maybe they're not ready for.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
appreciate that
interesting.
you're bringing light to that because it's true. And I do think like there are some very talented instructors in any type of fitness modality that are so talented at their art, but when it comes to the teaching, they kind of miss the mark. Not that they miss the mark in teaching the skill, but more so they can't put themselves in the body of another person. Like they don't have that empathy and that social awareness. I would say, you know what I mean, to help them navigate a body that might not be as able as the instructors, you know?
Right. And it's really important. They do say that, you know, not all great dancers make great teachers. Like teaching is really just like anything. It's a skill that you have to like really kind of dive into and understand to be able to help your students effectively, because no one learns the same way, you know? No one learns the same way. So yeah, when I first started teaching, you know, that's how I really got into it. Just teaching at Air Dance and then kind of developing my skills as I went on. It's like one of those things, like, you know, just like you starting your podcast, it's like you learn as you go. You gain confidence as you keep teaching and you build your, you know, your student
and
base.
Then you learn a big mistake and you're like, okay, I know how to navigate this now.
Yeah, and then you learn what works.
My podcast.
Of
I'm not doing that way. And again.
Yeah,
I get it. I understand that. So when you were, did you take a pole teaching certification?
No, I didn't. No.
I guess it's not required. Like, I know different worlds that don't require certain things.
Yeah, some studios will require their instructors to have certifications. Some don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just depends.
So let's talk a little bit about the fact that, like, okay, so yes, you're amazing at pole. Your fluidity, your sensuality, everything is just like perfect. Like when I watch you, but how did you get into like the chair aspect of it?
The chair aspect of it? I think it's just something that kind of like breaks off of pole, like similar like to floor work. It's just like another like sub aspect of that pole dance world.
And you just started like incorporating a chair into that practice, and then you were like, oh, kind of like this, because you do crazy tricks on that chair.
Yeah, but I really just learned from, you know, other people, and then like watching on Instagram. There's just a lot of people that do crazier things than me.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's crazy. And the strength that comes behind this form of art is like insane. You know what I mean?
It is, and that's why I think for me, truly the sensual side and the heels, that's why I love it so much, because not only do you have to be strong, but you have to be able to act like you're not suffering inside.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look like you're really enjoying yourself. I mean, you are, but, you know.
Wait, okay, I like this. Let's unpack it. Because it's strenuous. Like, and then, like, I wish I could demonstrate, but no, whatever. So, you hold, like, you can do, I don't know what they're called, but, you know, with the legs, and they go, like, wide, and then you can do a hip rotation, and they're, like, swirly
like the swirls,
legs.
Swirly twirlies.
Yeah. But that is your, like thigh engagement, like, you're really controlling your inner thighs or your
it's all like internal and external hip rotation. Yeah, so everything.
Yeah, and like that's not easy, but you look like it's effort. Like you look like it doesn't even affect you.
Because I've done it 1,000 times.
Yeah. So I guess your body will start to, after you do something so often, your body will be like, okay, I got this. It doesn't even like it's strenuous, but your body can handle it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same.
Exactly. It's just like training anything. Like even, it comes kind of with the flexibility too.
Yeah.
You know? So as you train it, your range gets better and then it gets easier. So like a move that, you know, I used to have to think about quite a bit in the beginning. Now I can do it without having to use my brain.
Yeah.
It's cool how our brains work, right?
It is kind of nuts. And like how it evolves, and then all of a sudden you have to like take a minute and be like, holy crap, I've done so much. Like, you know what I mean? I've learned so much. It is kind of crazy. When you are teaching, though, you are creating every week, or do you build upon like a curriculum?
So what I do now at this point is we do basically like 3-week cycles. So the first week, it might be a little bit more of conditioning and technique. So I might teach like some elements that are going to be in the routine itself, but not necessarily the whole routine with the musicality and the timing of everything. I find that helps because then it allows my students to explore those certain moves without the pressure of listening to the song, matching it to the beat, and then that way we can explore also like different ways to enter and exit different things as well. And then I'll do the routine for 2 weeks after that. Essentially,
I think that's good reinforcing.
Yeah, and I find that people really like it. When I first started pole dancing, I feel like a lot of instructors or people that I learned from, at least, it seemed like they were very pressured to try to make new routines every single week, or that was like the trend at that time. But now I've noticed that the students really love doing things over again because it does, you can't really learn and master something in 1 week. I
agree, but I also think there's benefits to the fact that you feel like, wow, I mastered this. I've been working on it, and like this is the end game. This is not even the end game. This is what I'm performing at. Like you could see your growth. I think when you're learning something that rapidly, you don't really know if you're developing or not because you're just constantly learning something new. Right,
exactly. And it takes time for your brain to kind of store that information and hold it in your body too. When people see me freestyle, I think they just assume that it's like coming out of nowhere.
Well, that's what I assume. So I know others are doing that.
But I think there are times where I do things I've never done before, but a lot of it is things that I have practiced quite a bit and that come more naturally to me.
In your toolbox.
Exactly. You just have to build your vocabulary, okay? And then from there, it's like you're making different sentences and writing.
Analogy. Yeah. I love that analogy.
So I have a lot of them.
I love it. So when you are teaching, you have a following and you have a group of girls that constantly come to your classes. Honestly, they probably even follow you around because I know you're at different studios, right?
No, actually. I do workshops at different studios, but I only teach regularly at Air Dance.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I do see you posting another studio, that's why. So it's workshops. Okay.
Yeah.
But have you seen any, I'm sure you have too, any students that came in limited grace or maybe timid, maybe didn't want to do it, apprehensive about it? Have you seen anybody kind of like unleash your inner essence?
Yeah.
Oh, that must feel amazing.
It's so nice to see. And I think, that's a process. Like it definitely takes time for you to be comfortable showing that side of yourself, especially if you've never really tapped into it. But I love it when I see people have that moment where it just kind of clicks and they let go. Because that's really what it's all about. I think people underestimate how mental pole dancing can be. Like the mental challenge of being able to let go and kind of just tap into yourself, you know? That's not something that everybody can do or that you practice on a daily basis, like being sensual and listening to the music, moving freely. That's really, in that environment, that is where you practice that, So yeah, for me, when I see my students kind of growing in that sense, it makes me really happy. I love it. Like I yell at them all the time. I'm like, please, more.
I love it. I do love that place is like, I love that the windows out in the front are blacked out, so you walk in, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like an underground club and no one knows I'm in here, and you're surrounded by people that are also similar to you. They have the same interest in as you. That's why they're there, and it's just a place to feel safe. But I do believe it's the instructor too. Like your instruction is driving that type of community.
Yeah, and I think I try to set an example. Like. There's days like where I'm not feeling it, there's some days where I want to call it that state of flow, right? I mean, everybody talks about that when we talk about like passions and hobbies. Like pole is that for me. You get into that state of flow where your brain can turn off and you're not necessarily thinking. And I think that is why it's so hard for people to freestyle and to dance freely without like instruction sometimes, because in order to do that, again, you have to really, really let go and like look within yourself. So I just find it so interesting because it really is such almost like a spiritual thing that you have to go through sometimes when it comes to unleashing that side of you. And like I said, I do try to be the person that can exemplify that, but there are days where I get in my head, and even when I'm dancing, I'm like thinking of like a million different things, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're all humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think when we see the most talented person in the room, we're like, okay, like they that's it. Like they probably don't worry about this, or they just kind of got it in the bag. But you still are gonna. Everybody is, and I think we forget about that aspect of everybody, like as an individual. I mean, I do. Sometimes I'm like, did they even think like? They even harp on things the way I do, and everyone does to whatever they need to, whatever they. But it is cool to see that like you have that influence over people, because you definitely do.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what's funny? Actually, one of my students asked me the other day. She was like, "Do you have an insecure bone in your body?" And I was like, "Yes." Yeah. I actually used to have like such bad imposter syndrome, especially when I first started. I would say, or as I kind of gained more experience, I was like, am I even qualified to be doing this? Like,
but you know
like,
what?
Who am I?
As I talk to more and more people, they struggle. Everybody struggles with it. I feel like even people who quote unquote made it, you know what I mean? Like I feel like Mel Robbins, we just talked about her. Even struggles with that, and like
that's
to
true.
me, she made it. She got books out flying off
That's
the
true.
shelves and stuff. So like, I think that's just part of the psyche. It's like playing tricks on you, the ego. It's playing tricks on you, because I also think the cool part about it is like you started it, and like you didn't start here. Like there wasn't like you as a little girl you were doing. You know what I mean? Like you were like driven to this place. Like you were trying different things, and this is where it kind of took you.
Yeah.
And I think when you're authentic like that and you're genuine about your story, I think people are like, oh, okay. And like, you know what I mean? Connect more.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely try to stay true to myself, like when it comes to my style and just the way that I teach as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it is really easy, especially in this day and age of social media, to try to, you know, keep up with like the trendiest tricks, or to, you know, do all the really, really hard things that you see out there, and think that, you know, that's what your students want, which I, you know, kind of I feel like I fell into that trap a little bit when I first started, always trying to make sure that everything was new and fresh and exciting. But what I have realized is that people really do appreciate refining the basics a bit more than you would realize. Yeah. And, you really can offer your students like
so
something,
much.
you know, so much. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. It's just, you know, it is what you make it, essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
It is crazy. So you're obviously going to continue teaching and stuff, and the workshops you do are chair and pole?
No, I do, floor work too as well. I mean, I actually haven't done a floor work. No, I do floor work workshops too, a mix of everything, really.
I love the floor work because it's like, I mean, that's super sensual, like, you know what I mean? So I think it's fun. I think it's also cool because like, you ever watch Chris Brown's music videos from back in the day?
Oh,
like,
yes.
Oh, wow, like these are his movements. And like, I never knew how to move your body like that. What, body rolls and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
He's
crazy.
So good.
He's so good. But I remember I took my first pole class up in West Palm. Morgan's Place, it's called. Did you ever
Palm Beach Pole?
Palm Beach Pole,
yeah, they're great.
And she said, when you, and I might be saying this out of order, so please don't judge, but she said when you're doing the body roll, think of like lick the pole, like bring your chest to the pole, and then booty back, and then I don't know.
No, you have it right.
Like, the licking the pole, and like it's not in. It's like in my head now to think of that like quirky little saying, even though it's like a sexual like looking movement. it just helps you like refine or like get the movement down.
No, and that helps. That's why I feel like I like to use a lot of analogies during class too, and that helps as like freestyle prompts as well. But I like to use weird stuff like for especially those backbending moves. I'll be like, okay, think like you're a shrimp, you know, like you wanna...
They help though. They definitely help, and they definitely help the visual learners because they can apply it to like visualize something different. Crazy. Let's talk a little bit about your community that you have built. Like, okay, so you shared that you develop a curriculum, like a 3-week curriculum, and then everybody kind of performs the How do you tap into the music and create and come up with that choreography? Like, how does that all
process.
go? Yeah.
It's weird. So in the beginning, I feel like it used to take me forever to choreograph. Like I would just kind of like spend so much time poring over the details because I didn't trust myself at the time. I'd be like looking at, Instagram for inspiration, things like that. But now, like, sometimes I whip it out like 20 minutes before class and I'm like, all right, this is it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it really just depends on the day, honestly. And it depends if I'm feeling creative or not. Sometimes I get inspired by, different other disciplines, like, even like music videos, new songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I teach, I really just try to draw inspiration from the music. So I'm really big on musicality. Like, for me, I think I've heard another pole dancer say this before. Like, your body is supposed to be like the voice of the artist, or like the instrument. Like, you are the person representing those lyrics. So you want to move in a way that
the music is going through your body almost.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, your body is the instrument. You are portraying whatever that music is, putting out
like
there.
The music is going through you.
Exactly. So for me, when I listen to a piece, it's actually not as creative as you think it might be. I don't know. I'm very type A sometimes. So for me, when I lesson plan, sometimes I'll have certain moves in mind that I want them to work on, or, something that has been on my mind that I'm like, okay, I feel like we need to go over this in the next class, for example. So if I have, let's just say, a collection of moves, I will, find a piece of music that inspires me or that I think will help them understand tempo or help them understand how to vary musicality. So it really just depends on the goal. And then what I'll do is I'll try to freestyle. Well, firstly, I try to visualize. That's really my biggest thing.
Okay.
And I think that it is really the most efficient way to choreograph. I try to listen to the music a few times, and then in my head I'll say, okay, where do I feel like maybe this move might look good? Or I'll just kind of try to almost freestyle in my brain a little bit, and that kind of saves me from burning out, my upper body and my shoulders and the rest of my body.
Movements.
Yes, exactly. Because I feel like sometimes we get into the trap of trying to do things too many times, and it's not very effective, right?
Yeah.
So I do that, as well as just freestyling to the music and trying to see, what I like, essentially, and then refining it from there. So, like I said, sometimes it takes an hour. Sometimes I ponder it over for like a week. And then sometimes 20 minutes. And I'm like, this is good.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to know because I was like, I'm wondering how anybody, like, really that comes to a class that requires choreography, like, develops all of that. And
It's like a muscle, too.
Yeah.
It's something that I've learned over time.
And I think it goes back to your toolbox. Like, your body knows these movements, so it can naturally kind of, like, bring things out when you need it.
Right. And I think when you are focused on learning the techniques and, again, the foundational movements, then you can explore from there, So that's when you can add, like, pizzazz to, like, even an invert, for example. Yeah, so it really is something that I've developed over time, I want to say. Like, for the most part, it doesn't take me very long to come up with something if I need to, like, under pressure. But I really just try to let the music tell me what to do, essentially.
I love that. I love that. So you talked a little bit about, like, the spirituality of all of it, and just the mind-body connection. I just wonder if, well, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say, so I want it to sound clear. But I guess it is very it is very kind of spiritual in the fact that, like, anybody who's starting this can just tap in. Like, even if you are not a graceful person, like, we are all driven in a way to move. So as long as you let go, it will come out.
Yes. And I think that's what happens. Like, we're in a society where everything that we see on social media is very curated, and so you look at other dancers and you think, like, oh, they just know how to do that. Like, they're perfect. You don't have to.
You have no idea how many times they recorded and did this and did that.
Exactly. And
I wish that was more shown. Sorry, no.
Oh no, you're fine.
But don't you wish that was more shown? Because like, then you could really relate even better. Because I do think that there's a lot of this got to be I struggle with this. That's why I'm sharing it.
Yeah.
This has to be perfect or it's not going out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
not moving like you, or I'm not moving like that girl, or I have no split on the left side, or my right side's better. Like, so therefore it shouldn't go out. But I regret having all of those inner struggles because the people who have been posting their growth over the years, that's exactly what that is. It's called growth, and you get to see your progress. And I don't think anybody's really on there truly ripping it apart the way you are about yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's looking at these videos and these movements so intricately like you are about yourself.
Right. No, that's very true. I mean, I get in that mentality, in that headspace too. I think I almost miss I would say one piece of advice to the people who are like starting pole dance or any form of dance is just to enjoy that time where you are still kind of fresh at everything. Because when I look back on my journey as like a baby poler, baby poler, baby cat. I really enjoyed all those moments where I was growing and just learning and being free. Now it's a little bit different because, I do teach. So I think I'm a little bit more critical of myself at some times.
Yeah.
And because technically, my page is kind of like a reflection of me,
Your, like,
right?
portfolio, I feel
yeah,
like,
in a sense, it's like, okay, I of course I can post things that aren't, totally perfect, and I do. Sometimes I look at my things.
Though, just because I don't think anybody at this point, you have proven and shown so much, like, you're so talented and it's out there. People know, right? So it's like that, those little imperfections just show a bit more of authenticity.
Right,
and people are like, oh, that's right. She has something to learn just like I still have something to learn.
Yeah.
So I think you should embrace. It's just a self lesson that I just recently learned. And like, I wish I posted more and had a little more grace with myself, because it's nice to see.
Oh yeah.
The change. Like, you can always get better from where you're at right now.
Right. And that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
It's like, just start. Like, you can't compare yourself to someone who's been doing something for 10 years, for example. And I think that stops a lot of people from actually starting new hobbies, because they think like, oh, like, I'm never going to be as good as XYZ.
I know.
Which is so silly, right? When you really dissect it and look at it objectively, you're like, what are we doing?
Why are you even entertaining a thought like that? It's going to steal you from even learning something.
Right. And I mean, going back to like the whole mental aspect of pole dancing and dancing itself, I think a lot of times what happens to people is they overthink, and then it's also the fear of being seen. Okay, so like, not even by other people, but even by yourself. Yeah. Because that's something that's hard to do. Like, a lot of times when I dance, like, I will look at myself in the mirror, and I feel like that grounds me. And because I'm so connected to myself, and I feel at home in my body in that sense now, like, I can do that. But what I notice a lot of times when I watch my students, like, they don't really look at themselves.
I think because that at that moment, and I struggle with this, that's why I can identify it or identify with it. I think it's because they are looking around the room and they are comparing, and
they're not feeling.
They're not feeling that. They're not doing it for themselves in that moment.
Right.
I'm telling you, I love this conversation because it just proves, and that's really what I want people to hear, especially those who have never tried this, like pole dancing, floor dancing, a chair class. There's so much more than just the sensuality of it, the sexiness. There's so much more behind the scenes that it provides to an individual.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it breaks after you get through those limitations and that self-criticalness. It unleashes something, and then once you tap into it, you can't untap.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think the biggest thing pole dancing did for me, that it kind of spread to other aspects of my life, was just learning to not give a shit. Because it's like, people are going to judge you no matter what you do, right? So you might as well do the thing that you care about. So why are you stopping yourself?
No, 100%. I agree. And I do want to just shed light again on the fact that, like, just because somebody is more fluid than another person, or just because it's a sexy driven art platform, doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that hard work is not behind it. There's hard work, there's dedication, and honestly, like, there's strength and conditioning. Like, we didn't even go into all of that, but there's so much discipline and strength and conditioning that are part of this journey that I don't feel like is highlighted enough.
Oh yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. It is truly something that will challenge you in all aspects.
Yeah.
You know, I never expected to have such like I wouldn't say like a breakthrough in terms of like my confidence and just in life in general, but I think pole dance really did that for me, because you are with a group of people that are just there to have fun, and you know, we're all pretty much, you know, some of us are half naked or you're wearing more clothes, depending on what you're doing, of course, you know. But it's interesting because there's a lot of those memes or those videos on Instagram where it's like, okay, you know, me polling for the first time, and like they're wearing a bunch of clothes, and then like me polling after 3 years, and they're like, yeah, exactly, because you become more comfortable with who you are, and you realize that like in that space, like no one is there to judge you, like we're here to support ourselves. And it's so funny because like when you're dancing and you're looking at other people and you're trying to make sure you're not messing up, they're doing the same thing. It's like being, it's not, you know, that mentality of like when you're at the gym, like, oh, you think people are looking at you, like no one's looking at you. They're trying to just they're checking themselves out, and they're trying to make sure their form looks good. So it's like once you can get out of your head, that's when you can actually live in that moment and enjoy being there.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, I love this conversation. I just want to keep on going.
I know. It's getting deep.
I know. So what about, all right, so let's talk about your community, like your group of women. How does teaching them empower you to keep continuing to recreate, or just create?
I mean, I just love doing it, to be honest with you. I seeing people change and grow in that way has really motivated me in that sense. But I think purely to create, like from that standpoint, I just have to do it. Like there's no motivation behind it other than to do it. You got me? So it's one of those things where it's just so interesting to me, because most other things that I do, like there's always like a purpose behind it, you know. But I always tell people you have to have that one thing that you just do it because it's fun and you love it.
This is your true medicine. This is like your movement meditation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and when it comes to the ladies that I teach, I really find that, like it's motivating to see them grow and be able to tap into themselves. Yeah. I find especially during when I do private classes, like I've been doing a lot more of those this year. I can really see the moment where someone lets go in their dancing.
Especially one-on-one, I feel like, because they feel comfortable around you, and it's just one-on-one. I feel like you could see a lot of growth.
And I can really take a look at what they're doing, and
what's stopping them.
Yes, and I can tell you when I watch someone dance, I can tell you whether they're actually into it or not. You know?
Yeah.
And I know my students pretty well, especially the ones that do regular privates with me. I know them well enough to be like, okay, you're thinking too much. Like, you gotta let go. Like, relax. Like, take a break.
How do you help them through that?
That's a good question. I try to give them strategies. So whether it's putting on a song that really kind of takes them out of their head, or finding techniques that help you ground yourself. I did a pole intensive in Tampa. I want to say it was like 2 months ago, where we did a lot of freestyling. Like a lot of that felt very like a lot of mental work, I would say. It wasn't so much physically challenging, but mentally my brain was like, whoa, we have to like sit on this a little bit. And they told us about, finding the techniques that help you ground yourself when you're dancing, like when you're freestyling, whether that's looking at yourself, maybe looking at the pole, closing your eyes. It can be different for everyone. So I try to incorporate techniques like that, and just kind of like a little pep talk,
Pep talk,
Yeah. Like get out of your head.
Techniques are so helpful too.
Yeah.
Just in general life too.
Mm-hmm. No, they really are.
So cool.
Yeah. I love it. It's just something you have to explore on your own.
Yeah.
You can't learn that from anyone else per se. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable with yourself, which is why I say being sensual is really hard for a lot of people, because again, it's hard to get past that discomfort, and it's hard for people to want to be vulnerable with themselves.
Like, do it in your room, in front of a mirror, no one's home. Like, just to see what you feel like and look like.
Right.
And I think you take yourself by surprise if somebody hasn't tried that. Do it.
Right.
Be like a little girl, like in your room dancing on your bed when you used to do that. Like, do it as an adult.
Exactly.
And I think it helps. I do. I think it helps. I think it could take your mood, like a mediocre mood, and make it super high.
Right. Exactly. And I think the goal as a dancer, like at least for myself, is to be able to have that same energy, but in front of other people, which again is very vulnerable. You know, you can't go out there and expect to not like feel anything. Like it's something that if you really want to have true like raw expression as a dancer, you have to tap into some deeper parts of yourself.
Yeah.
And I find that really that's the goal for me, because it's like, what makes you want to watch somebody, you know?
What a good question. Yeah.
Anyone can lift their leg up over their head or do a trick or do whatever, but what makes you want to watch that person? It's the emotion, it's the feeling behind it, and like what part of their personality they're putting into their performance.
Oh my gosh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're right. I know it's right.
I know I'm right, but
wait, it's true. Even like, even if you're not watching dance, it's like, I'm going to use my time after that as an example again, just because when you look at her social media, it is she looks like Sporty Spice on there, and it's very different than like you putting on like comparing. I hate comparing, but comparing it to something else, it's like, oh, I want to go there where it looks like you're a Spice Girl dancing and having fun and still getting the same results. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So I get it, but that's her pizzazz, just like your pizzazz is your pizzazz, and it attracts who it's supposed to attract.
Exactly. Yeah, and I guess going back to being authentic, you know, you talk about like building a following and things like that. Like for me, like I don't really care about having a bunch of people follow me or, you know, growing in terms of social media and whatnot. I think just as long as I'm authentic and I can stay true to myself, that's the biggest thing that I want to accomplish.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because it's so easy to get lost in the trap of like doing things for other people. And I, don't get me wrong, I'm like a chronic people pleaser. I used to be, at least. But now I'm like, nah.
The minute you start doing it for yourself, it's like a whole different energy, a whole different ballgame. But I only started learning that maybe like at the end of last year. Like it's a new thing I'm doing.
I used to be a chronic people pleaser. I would like say yes to everything and be like, yeah, no, totally, I can do that for you. But now I'm like, okay, do I actually have space to do this? Do I have the energy?
Yeah.
And then a lot of times nowadays it's no.
Yeah.
Sorry. I can't do that.
Like, you know. Yeah.
No, because it really is. It's so important. Like even like you can get burnt out from your passions. You know.
Yeah.
Like, for me, with
when
my
you're
clients,
overdoing it. Yes, I agree. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I agree. And you don't. If it's something that brings you joy and you're feeling like it's taking joy out of you, I think that's time to slow down or take a break from it. Right. It's okay to take breaks from things that you love.
Right, exactly. You want to still love them. Just like any relationship, sometimes it's good to take a break and reflect.
Regroup and reflect.
Yeah, spice it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's why I tell my private clients, at least, I like to keep it on a bi-weekly basis. You know, and I'd like to chunk them together so that way I don't go crazy.
What does that look like? Like how many classes?
So like on this past Sunday, for example, I did 4.
Okay. So it's like
4 or 5.
4 or 5 over 2 weeks?
No. Like 4 or 5 sessions, like in one day. So private.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Sessions, yeah.
Okay. But then for the individual client, you tell the client or you recommend, what do you say, like 2, 3, like for, I guess it would be their needs, right? What they want to do.
It's based on what they want to do. But personally, for me, I am not available every week just to keep my sanity. It's like, okay, like every other Sunday we can do,
that helps,
for example.
Yeah. And it gives them time to explore it at home and practice.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so great.
Yeah, it's fun.
I literally loved this interview. And it was so fun. And I do want, it's important to me, I don't know, because I know a lot of people that love fitness and movement because we're in it, like you and I are in this world, but then I also know a lot of people that are apprehensive about it. Something keeps them away from it, and I just want them to know that this is not it's not a place where like only these types of people go there because they've done this since childhood, or it's for anybody that wants to try, and there's so much change and self-love that can come out of movements that you can teach, or like, you know what I mean, like that pole or a floor dancing class can give you. Like, there's so much. And honestly, I will also say, just because I dabble in it, that when you're in your regular workouts, it makes movements easier, because now all of a sudden you know how to do it from like a fluid dancery side.
It does. Cross training, they all kind of go into each other.
It's
it
all
really
connected
does.
at the end of the day.
It really is.
Yeah. So it does complement other things as well.
Yeah, and it is empowering, you know, being able to do that. I think a lot of people have this notion about pole dance that it's like, you know, especially the ones that like find out that I do pole dance, like even at work, they're like, oh, like, do you do it like for your boyfriend or something? And I'm like, my boyfriend gets to see me after I've already pole danced. I'm like sweaty and I'm tired. I look like a hot mess. So no, I do it for myself, and really just to be, you know, with that group of people that share that same mentality, you know. And it's funny because like a lot of people have that notion that, you know, people who pole dance, they want to learn it for external reasons. For example, like, oh, like, you know, I want to be able to do this to like perform for my boyfriend, and you don't really find that in,
I think
in
you get
actuality.
really good the moment you're doing it for yourself.
Exactly.
I really feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. Which you should be doing it for yourself.
But I do love that you highlighted on the fact that no, you're not doing this to impress a man or somebody special in your life, or it's not coming from that place. It comes from a true, genuine place of empowerment and like joy, and it makes you happy. And that's the part that I'm always trying to fight against. But no, it's not coming from like an attention-seeking place. It's coming from a place where that makes you feel full.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I'm going to tell you this. I actually hate attention. It was just so funny because people see me when I dance, right? And they're like, oh my God, she's so confident. She like looks like she's not even trying. Whatever. I don't know what they think of me. I am honestly such an introvert in real life. Like when I meet new people, I'm like super shy. Like you won't get much out of me until you actually like start talking to me and we like warm up to each other. Yeah. But when I'm dancing, it's a totally different mindset.
Because it's your comfort. So it's like that's your home.
Yeah. And I think too, part of it is just training yourself to tap into that side of you as well. Because, you know, when you have to perform, you have to lock in, quote unquote. You can't be in your head. You have to say to yourself, like, I got this. It is what it's going to be. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. Whatever you need to tell yourself. Yeah. So you have to tap into that alter ego in a sense. Yeah. In order to be that performer. Yeah. No, you know? I agree. I'm not a performer, but you can tell it. But you can be. I used to not be. I'm telling you.
I could see it though. I could see how like it does. If you're not into it, people are gonna know.
Oh yeah, people will know, and people want to watch people that are into it.
Yeah. One thing I told Nessie was, I forget what it was. She was holding something. It might have been her grand opening, but I mean, all the spouses and the boyfriends came. They came for 5 minutes to watch their individual like loved one perform, and they were out of that place. And you would think that they would be like the men who are like gawking at the women, and this is where they want to be. But it's like no. It's truly a safe space for a woman. I can't describe it to you. So it has a. Sometimes I think people could see it as a negative connotation, but it's not. It's not that. Once you give it a try, I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's for you, and I think that's empowering in itself to be able to tap into your sensuality for yourself, like for nobody but you. You got me, and then take that back, because I think people think being sensual is, I don't know, they have
taboo.
that taboo. Yeah, they're like, ew, like why would you want to do that?
It's 2025.
I know. I'm like, ew, why are you wearing that? Like, no, like it's for fun. You know, we love doing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, And you are not afraid to like post any of your movements online. Like I love your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very blessed too that I don't have like family, for example, that's like judgmental like that or anything. You know, my boyfriend's very supportive. Even my coworkers. Yeah, it's really random. Like I actually had one of the nurses at my hospital the other day came up to me And I guess she found out that I pole dance through like some other people in my department, and she was like, "Do you teach?" And like she was like asking me questions because they want to do it. I think a lot of people are curious but don't like take the leap because they're scared, and it is scary.
It is scary, and you don't know what you don't know, and it might be
Right.
intimidating to be in a room of other females similar to you with the similar strengths and talents. But I'm telling you, it's worth a shot, and give yourself that gift of trying. Like it will,
Right.
it will help. Like
Right.
it will help. Thank you so much for
you're
coming on the
welcome.
show. If people did want us try private with you or explore your page and connect with you, where can somebody find you?
I am at pole dancing cat on Instagram. It's a pretty basic name.
Pole dancing cat.
Yeah.
And cat
Yeah.
spelled K-A-T.
Yes, K-A-T. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. But before we actually log off quick, I wanted to ask you a fun question.
Ooh, okay.
If you
Spicy.
if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh my gosh.
It's like my favorite question to ask.
That's so interesting. I like that. I honestly feel like I'd want to be invisible. That's what comes to mind. It's probably like not super.
Like the invisibility cloak from Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm an introvert, so if I didn't want to be somewhere, I'd just peace out. You can't find me.
I like that one.
I know that's kind of lame, but I like it because you could just disappear, or you could eavesdrop on people, or I don't know, rob a bank.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, sky is the limit. But really, you could just dip.
Yeah,
Whatever you
get
want.
yourself out of a social situation you want to be in.
Sorry. We out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kat. I hope you come on the show. And again, if you do want to follow Kat, she is a talented human being, and her classes are amazing. So again, you could follow her or reach out to her on Instagram and TikTok or no?
Yeah,
TikTok?
I mean, I have a TikTok, but just talk to me on Instagram.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. See you next week.